remember yesterday we discussed about this blanket here? You guys can all look at it. It's nice, right? You all liked it? Remember the first school in 1817, then the second deaf school, and then the third right down here, and then the fourth one right here in the center. Now this is all current up to today. This is the most current deaf school. Now you'd notice this hand right here, H-A-T, that was the first finger-spelled word to this girl. She had no communication, and she was sitting alone by herself, and Gaudet noticed that she was sitting there and that she had no communication. So he approached her and tried to communicate with her and failed miserably. So what he did was draw with, a stick and some sand. He drew out the letter hat, and then she understood. That's how, that was like a key thing in this blanket. Explaining the meaning of the I love you hand, the American School for the Deaf, all our information in history. It's important. The famous people, Gaudet, over here we have Alice, that young girl, and Cogswell, and Clerk. The ABCs are finger-spelled around the border of the blanket. Now, what I want you all to do is read this book right here. This book is written in Hawaii, and that shows their culture. They picked a color like green, and then they picked a flower and put it together, and that's an example of their culture. The story is about a grandma with her granddaughter, and she wanted to make her pick a color and a flower, and then she could make the book for her. And then give it to her and have it, be passed down in their family, this story. This other book I have, that book is about slavery, long ago. Slave, would work and then they'd escape and be free, but how would they do it? So this girl had an idea to make a blanket, and it had secret escape routes of how to get out. So she drew this blanket and she gave it to the slaves, and they could follow it to escape. All the white people who owned slaves back then didn't know how all their slaves were escaping, but it was because of this private blanket. And they, so there was another meaning to that blanket for the slaves. Now I want you all to create your own ideas, feelings, whatever you think, and draw something out, the same idea as the blanket. Now, it doesn't have to be the same as the blanket. It's, your own style, your own feelings. And then when you're finished with the drawing, I want you to create a paper that explains, to type a paper about your blanket and explain what all the pictures mean. I did this last year, and the students, gave me their drawings and their explanations, and I made a book out of it, and this is what it looked like. The students drawing here on one page, their feelings, and then the second page is, the writing. Right here on the back. Their explanation for their drawing. They have pictures of their homes, animals, and then their written explanation right here on the back, alright? Now I want you to draw something and then create your explanation paper, and I will collect everybody's, and I will make the book, same as this, get it all binded and put it in the library. So later in the future you can come and look back at your own expressive blanket here. I'll also make other copies that you can keep, take home, give them to your parents or other family members, your sisters or brothers, grandparents. You can give it to them, so we'll have one in each place. Now, it's a really fun experience, and I'm excited for this. So, alright, thank you.